You know, Bray Wyatt has finally made his return after much speculation. You know, some were saying, oh, maybe it might be SummerSlam. Others were expecting him weeks prior to when he actually did re-debut. And, you know, he debuted on Monday Night Raw. He debuted in Long Island, New York there. My neck of the woods, my backyard. And Long Island is a little bit of a tricky crowd. Sometimes they sit on their feet, sit on their hands rather. Can you sit on your feet? Maybe. It's a mixed bag when you go to let's say an event in Long Island as far as the fans go. If you want the rowdy, the better, the positive type of guaranteed reaction, usually you go out to Brooklyn, you go out to MSG, and that's where you get the most bang for your buck as far as a pop goes, or you know, as far as a reaction. Sometimes Long Island crowd is not the greatest, and trust me, I know that, it's my backyard. But when we seen Bray Wyatt, my reaction, the mask, very nice looking mask. You could tell that it was definitely kind of maneuvered, tied around very carefully to make sure that nothing will go flying off, because that would be a disaster, especially with the type of finisher where it's all a lot of everything going on with Bray Wyatt. So you could tell that that mask was on pretty good. You got a good reaction there. You got a holy shit chant, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The camera angle, cameras, beautiful. You got a good visual of Bray Wyatt. You really get quote unquote spooked out when you seen the new Bray Wyatt. The gear, kind of similar to as far as the color scheme goes. He was red and black, if I remember correctly. Kind of what you've been seeing similar in the vignettes there. He was wearing a lot of red or khaki slacks. Kind of the same overtone. And is Bray Wyatt a face? Is Bray Wyatt a heel? I think what you're going to be seeing, though he didn't appear on SmackDown, Bray Wyatt's just going to come out kind of doing what he's been doing the last couple of weeks. What he's been doing on Raw, and for a couple of weeks rather. I think he would just attack random people over the course of time. I don't think it will be every week. What I think, just my 2 cents, what will happen is, next week on Raw, you could see Bray Wyatt in his sweater, in his khaki pants, without the mask on, because I don't think he'll be wrestling with the mask week in and week out. Maybe only on special occasions against special opponents, where he's going to be in the back. Bray, just regular Bray now, cleaned up Bray, kind of looks like ever polite Bray Wyatt, well mannered, well dressed in the back, saying hi to all his fellow wrestlers, reacquainting himself, saying, oh, I'm a changed person now, yada, yada, yada. And then we're looking at him in the back there. A couple of skits that you could have. Like, Bray, we just seen you, we just seen you in the ring last week attack Finn Balor. What are you talking about? And Bray Wyatt could be just ignoring it and not knowing really what everyone's saying. Multiple personalities type of along those lines. He's backstage shaking everyone's hands, just complete opposite of what we've seen in the ring against Finn Balor. And you could alternate. Then the next week he's back in just attacking people. He could have the mask on, maybe doesn't have the mask. These couple of weeks are going to be critical, because you have to make fans care about Bray Wyatt. I like Bray Wyatt, but after a while, and Bray Wyatt constantly losing, people stop really caring about Bray Wyatt. That's what's going to need to happen if you, as they have, re-debuted him here You can't have him losing. Can't have him losing feuds. You need him to look strong. You need him to be winning. That's why I kind of, even like on a message board, I seen someone recommended a great feud that they would love to see is Bray Wyatt appear on SmackDown, or Aleister Black appear on Raw, and have that as a match, them two going on against each other. No, absolutely not. You cannot have Aleister Black versus Bray Wyatt. Because both of these guys need wins. This is too early. You can't have these guys losing. You need to have them looking strong. So, you know, my initial reaction seeing the new Bray Wyatt character, I like it. I hope people continue to care about it. Was it such a good idea? I like those vignettes that they had before Bray Wyatt appeared. Those were hot. Those were hot, and they were going on for weeks to weeks to weeks, and then they stopped. And then you had puppets appearing in the background. If people weren't looking for them, those puppets were hard to miss. So I wouldn't be shocked. Some people might think they haven't seen anything or heard anything about Bray Wyatt, but they were having those puppets in the background. But they're very easily missed if you weren't paying attention. So I really don't understand why they didn't continue the vignettes, or if they ran out of vignettes, why didn't they debut these vignettes? Later than they did. That would have been just kind of going from the vignettes, boom, to the re-debut. So that's something I didn't understand. But got to keep this momentum for Bray Wyatt. This was a good step. You know, I see Bray Wyatt kind of being like the Jekyll and Hyde type of guy, shaking hands, maybe even weeks where he's not wrestling with the mask in the ring, because like I said, I don't think that's going to be a weekly thing. He could be shaking opponents' hands. Even after he beats them, he could be shaking opponents' hands. Kind of, similar to what Waylon Mercy used to do in the back in the day. But, I love this re-debut. Let's just hope the momentum could keep going for Bray Wyatt. I hope all is well.